And now our preview of this year's London Film Festival, which opens on November the 14th. Advance booking has just begun, and we present John Ellis's personal reaction to this year's programme.
Suddenly every November, the London Film Festival offers us more films from more countries than can be seen in London for the whole of the rest of the year. Britain's a pretty hostile market for foreign films, except for American ones, of course, so the festival gives us a rare chance to see other cultures as they want to be seen. But not entirely, because the festival closes with a film attacked for racism in the States. Year of the Dragon now carries a disclaimer of a kind that no Hollywood film has ever done before.
This film does not intend to demean or ignore the many positive features of Asian American and specifically Chinese American communities. Any similarity between the depiction in this film and any association, organization, individual, or Chinatown that exists in real life is accidental.
Commander of the 5th Precinct and the most decorated cop in New York City, has declared war on Chinatown. Today there were 43 gang arrests, 3 gambling parlors raided, 6 sweatshops busted, and now an opening blow at the man who's been called the godfather of Chinatown, Joey Tai. Mr. Tai, can you tell us if there is such a thing as the Chinese mafia? Mr. Tai, what is your comment? Mr. Tai, do you have any comment?
This is not the Bronx or Brooklyn. It's not even New York. It's Chinatown fight. It can be very easy or it can be very hard.
Maybe American entertainment likes to see the Chinese as an exotic criminal community, but that's not how the Chinese want to be seen. And the advantage of a film festival is that you can see films that turn the tables on Hollywood, if you've got a bit of advance information. Edward Young's remarkable Taiwanese film Taipei Story, for instance, gives a Chinese view of life in America.
他喜欢玩枪。在美国，他不是带我去看棒球比赛，就是去靶场打靶。他曾经打死过一个人，一个黑人。后来警察来了，他被判无罪。他跟我讲，在美国，在你家院子里发现可疑的人，你可以一枪把他打死，然后把他拖到屋子里面来，手里塞给他一把没有牌照的黑枪。这叫自卫，没有罪的。
Taipei Story has a very European style, but it's about a clash of 2 non-European cultures, traditional Chinese society and the American-Japanese culture of modern Taiwan. Edward Young looks at this clash with a European perception, and this approach gives the film its distinctive moral balance and its beauty. This European approach has its attractions for another director in the festival, the American radical Bill Duke, whom we interviewed in Cannes.
Well, I think in Europe I find a different sensibility. It's a different sense of history here. So that I find that there are subject matters that are tolerated and can possibly have a commercial theatrical life that may not receive the same kind of audience in the US because our time of existence is much shorter and perhaps our patience is much shorter with certain subject matters. There seems to be a need for things to move fairly quickly in American cinema, and if a shot is held too long on a face or the frame doesn't move along, people seem to get a little more easily bored.
But is this contemplative style the only alternative for non-American directors who want to make films in a non-American way? Crazy Family, a Japanese film about housing and family problems, uses a different style. It's a frantic strip cartoon satire showing the problems caused by trying to make room in the house for grandfather.
Katsukuni, わしやっぱそうだあなたへあの本当のこれ地下にもう一丁部屋作ればよかったい地下室や俺の土地だ誰も文句つけんぞ一心伝心お前にしてはグッドアイデアやお父さん自分の部屋だから頑張ってくださいねバカいすげえまあまだわしはプロや
何これ博さない
地下室作っておじいちゃんの部屋にする時間かからんお前たちのことも考えてるぞ将来核戦争が起こったらシェルターになるうちだけ生き残れるぞ
自分は自分のやり方でね映画の面白さっていうのはそのアメリカハリウッドのエンターテインメントだけではないということをね獲得していきたいと思ってますけどね自分がすごく嫌だと思ってるのはアメリカ的ないわゆる金の消費によるスペクタクルわかりますか要するに金の消費のスペクタクルによってその作家のね作り手のイマジネーションとかセンスがないがしろにされてる状態が嫌なんですよね。
Questions of money are important because filmmaking in different parts of the world involves very different levels of investment. But this isn't immediately apparent at a festival like London's, where all the films are presented on more or less the same level. But we judge them by what we are used to, and that's the level of expenditure of mainstream Hollywood. But America too produces other kinds of films, like Bill Duke's The Killing Floor.
Hey, you. Get your time.
What?
War is over. We're cutting this cattle game. We're down to 75 cattle an hour, and that means that we don't need you no more. You and you, let's go, boys. We're laying you off.
What's the union gonna do about it? We don't have a union contract yet, Frank. Remember? They can lay off anybody they damn please, or hire back anybody they please.
The man walks up to me, points his finger and says, "You laid off?" And they got a right to do that? What about my family?
Maybe there's some jobs in some...
took more effort and longer time and more different funders than practically any film I know that has been made in the United States. I started the project in 1976, and it had initially some federal funding from the government and some foundation funding, and eventually the film was made possible by the help also of more than 40 unions who contributed in large and small amounts ranging from $25 to $100,000.
It's about the union, Frank. We need your help.
Why ain't nobody from the union been in touch with me before
We couldn't
now?
get through to you. Frank, the Packers are going to use the militia to bring the coloreds back to work tomorrow.
About time they did something.
You don't understand, Frank. Last night, somebody started a fire over in the Polish neighborhood. A lot of those people think the coloreds did it. Well, what if the coloreds and the whites start fighting in the yards tomorrow after the militia brings them in?
I think it's necessary not to do films that are necessarily controversial for the sake of controversy, but they may create questions in the mind, in minds that have already come to certain conclusions, to at least look at those conclusions in a new light. And I think those films are as important to make as films that are made to confirm conclusions already come to.
That's a belief shared by many of the directors whose films are in the London Festival. But it's one thing to disturb preconceptions in your own culture, and quite another to disturb those of someone else's. Often when we're faced with a film from another culture, we don't quite know what to make of it. How do we understand the final sequences of Crazy Family, where the family's tensions explode into extreme violence?
娘はほろいとった。本日ただいまよりこの地区は我が部隊が占領統治することに決定した。全員武器は捨てて投降しろ。そうせなこの人質は直ちに強姦処刑されるのである。
やりゃいいのよ。気違い親子三代で気が済むまで殺しちゃえばいいのよ。私まで巻き添えにしたら叩き殺してやるからね。
このほらこれは見らんかい。
許さん。それだけは絶対許さんぞ。
武器は捨て武器だ。このクーニャン13にしてはよかからだましとったい。難波小とかはよ武器は捨てかい。
どうせみんなで死ぬんだ。
We immediately see that scene through our own preoccupations, about sexual assaults in the family, about current plans to remilitarize Japan. So the scene shocks us because its savagery seems out of proportion to the satiric effects it's meant to have. But the film was made for a Japanese audience and not for us, so what right do we have to condemn the film for its use of these images, especially when we don't necessarily see anything wrong with a piece of Western racism like Year of the Dragon. Perhaps the director can help us.
私が知っている範囲の中では真実ですね。自分のいわゆる家族って言いますかね。
ご自分の家族として。
自分の家族、あるいは自分の周りでいろんな形を見てきましたけども、その中では一つの象徴ではありますね。まあそのおじいさんがおばあさんだったりする場合があってもね、ああいう形式の家族っていうのは一つ今の日本のすごく典型的な象徴だと思います。私は今までどっちかというとその気違いじみただけの映画ばかり作ってきましたから、実験的な。今回そういう映画だとどうしても観客層が限られてる、あるいはいつも同じ人しか見ないんですよね。で見てくれる人は大抵自分が提出する問題をよく考えて分かってくれています。だけども今回はホームドラマという装いでね、それ以外の人たちをも自分の映画に巻き込みたかったんですよね。それを観客動員を増やすっていうことももちろんあるかもしれませんけど、それ以上に自分が考えている問題、テーマ、モチーフなんかを一緒に考えてほしかった。
It's often difficult to get enough information to make sense of some of the films on offer at a festival. With the London Festival in particular, the press is no real help, and neither is the festival's own presentation sometimes. So the difficult task of improving our understanding of other cultures is not made much easier. These problems are dealt with by Youssef Chahine's film Adieu Bonaparte. Michel Piccoli plays the one general in Napoleon's army invading Egypt who takes Arab culture seriously.
Un jour, on foulera le sol de toutes ces planètes.
Vous prendrez vos soldats et vos canons avec vous?
Les soldats, les boulangers, les marchands de parapluies, même les imbéciles comme toi.
Les imbéciles ne savent pas parler français.
Je serais surpris de savoir le nombre de ceux qui le parlaient même couramment. L'équinoxe, elle devient grosse comme ta tête.
Equinix?
Équinoxe. Tiens, écris. E, Q, U, I, N, O, X, non, pas KS, X, E. Et toi, l'intelligent, traduis pour lui. Faut qu'il comprenne aussi, c'est tellement passionnant. Viens. Comment on dit viens en arabe?
Arabe.
Non, en arabe.
Arabe, 2 R, pas un.
Yahya, arabe.
Yahya.
Arabe. Viens, prends ça. Regarde. C'est autre chose. Encore mieux. Hein? Dis-lui que c'est lui qui a inventé ça, ce sont les Égyptiens. Avicenne. C'est...
Passionnant, avec 2 S.
Quelle merveille pour les hommes.
When this film was shown in Cannes, we asked the director why he'd made a film about dialogue between European and Arab cultures.
Okay, it's a subject, then suddenly they say, well, Jesus Christ, an Arab is saying this? Yes, I'm saying this. I'm saying that I'm more prepared to talk than you are. Okay, it irritates some of the Occidental people. Okay, I'm a friend. I'm not around just to pat you on the back and say, oh, the beautiful Occident. No, I don't find that the rapports in the Occident are very nice. I think people care more about each other back home. That's why I say probably, if you have much better techniques, but we are still, the technique of communicating with the other, you can find it. And we are there and we want to dialogue, but please, in a rapport de force, how do you call it, the balance of force that is honorable. Don't threaten me, don't frighten me. Can't do anything, the Americans are here. They're loudly here.
C'est une flottille, bon Dieu! J'ouvre les carrés! Je veux des pièces de 12 et demi tout de suite! J'ai besoin de budget!
Vous en avez 10 par carré.
Mais il en faut 20!
Le bateau du général Yaounski a coulé en pleine île ce matin.
Mais merde!
Merde! Il manquait plus que ça.
Contemple. Temple. Du haut de ce temple. Ah, citoyen Caffarelli, en vrai connaisseur, écoutez ce que devrait dire Bonaparte à l'issue victorieuse de cette bataille décisive. Du haut de ce temple, 40 siècles vous contemplent.
Je doute que le général ait besoin de vos muses pour trouver les mots appropriés. D'ailleurs, c'est pas de si loin qu'il voudrait chanter les pyramides. Mais quand je serai écrasé par leur majesté, je décréterai mon euphorie.
Anarchiste.
The communications revolution seems to make cultural exchanges with the developing world more difficult rather than less. So film festivals like London's are still vital for expanding our mental horizons. But is there any equality in the exchanges they promote? In 30 years of visits to Cannes, Chahine has seen a slight improvement.
The very first time we came at Cannes, there was terror. Who the hell are you with your 12 boxes on your head? And I was suffering because I had almost begged my ticket. The second time, okay, we'll allow you because you're folkloric. The third time, because you are part of, the good ones of the others. See, it's like socialism is a very good thing for the others. Mm-hmm. And it was Senya Jitre and myself and, I don't know, people from Brazil. And then they finally said, but maybe they have something to say, so let us respect them a little bit.
Ah oui?
Ouais.
Je parle parade.
Ça viendra.
The London Film Festival opens on the 14th of November, and later on in the month, 25 films from its programme will tour cinemas in Britain's major cities.